You come home and your dog spins at the door. You sit down and they press against your leg. You reach out to pet them and they duck away, just slightly, before leaning back in. You have seen these things 100 times and never thought twice about them. They felt like quirks, just your dog being your dog. But every single one of those moments was a message. Your dog has a language, precise and consistent, and they have been speaking it to you every single day. The spinning is not just excitement. The body press is not clinginess. The duck away is not nothing. Each gesture means something specific, something your dog needs you to understand. And until you do, you are only ever loving them halfway. Every day you missed it is another day they reached out and got silence back. That changes right now. Stay with me. 1. Touch pet smarter, not just more. Think about the last time you petted your dog. Where did your hands go first? The top of the head, right. Maybe a quick pat, a couple of strokes down the back, and you moved on. It felt like affection. It looked like affection, but for a lot of dogs, that moment was something they simply endured. And there is a significant difference between a dog that tolerates your touch and a dog that melts into it. Here is what the science actually shows. Dogs have specific zones on their bodies where slow, gentle pressure activates the deepest relaxation response. The base of the ears, the chest just below the collar, the sides of the neck, the area at the base of the tail. When you stimulate these zones slowly and deliberately, your dog's nervous system physically shifts into calm. Cortisol drops. Heart rate slows. They lean in and stay. Compare that to a pat on top of the head, which most dogs instinctively shy away from, and the physiological difference is remarkable. Tonight, start at the neck. Use slow circular pressure. Watch their eyes go soft, their jaw loosen, their whole body settle. That is not just a nice moment. That is trust being built in real time. 2. Walks. Feed the nose, free the mind. Most people think a walk is about movement. Get the dog outside, burn some energy, cover a few blocks, get back home. And on the surface that makes sense. But if that is all a walk ever is, you are solving for the wrong problem entirely. Your dog's nose contains roughly 300 million scent receptors. Yours has about 6 million. The part of their brain dedicated entirely to processing smell is proportionally 40 times larger than the equivalent in yours. So when your dog stops at a patch of grass and drops their nose to the ground, they are not stalling. They are reading. They're pulling in a full, layered picture of everything that passed through that spot. Who was there, when, what state they were in. It is the closest thing a dog has to checking their phone in the morning, except the information is richer and more complex than anything on your screen. When you rush them past all of that every single day, you are cutting off their primary way of making sense of the world. Research out of the University of Bristol found that dogs given real freedom to sniff during walks showed significantly lower stress and anxiety at home afterward. Not because they were tired, because they were genuinely fulfilled. There is a difference, and learning to recognize it will change how you structure every walk from this point forward. Once or twice a week, follow your dog's nose instead of your route. No agenda, no timeline, just presence. 3. Voice. Speak a language they actually understand. Have you ever called your dog's name and watched them look right through you? Not because they did not hear you, not because they were being difficult, but because what came out of your mouth meant absolutely nothing to them in that moment. Most owners assume their dog understands intention, that if you speak clearly and mean well, the message lands. But that is not how a dog's brain processes human language at all. Researchers at Evots Lorraine University in Hungary discovered something that should change the way every dog owner opens their mouth. Dogs process words and emotional tone in separate hemispheres of the brain simultaneously, and a genuine sense of reward only activates when both signals match perfectly. Praise words delivered in a flat, distracted tone produce nothing. Enthusiasm without meaningful words produces nothing. But the right words carried on genuine warmth light up the reward center of a dog's brain in a way that almost nothing else can replicate. So the fix is not about talking more. It is about being fully present when you do. Pick 2 or 3 phrases. Use them consistently in your warmest moments together. And over time, those words become an anchor, a signal to your dog's nervous system that they are safe, seen, and loved. 4. Feeding. Become the source of their greatest satisfaction. When was the last time your dog had to work for their meal? Not a long training session, not a complicated trick, just something that made them use their brain or their nose before the food arrived. If the answer is never, You are leaving one of the most powerful bonding opportunities in your entire relationship completely untouched every single day. Every breed of dog that has ever existed was developed alongside humans to perform a job, to hunt, to track, to herd, to protect. That history did not disappear when you brought them home and started filling a bowl. Their brains are still wired for problem solving, for the satisfaction of effort followed by reward. And a meal that appears in the same spot at the same time every day does absolutely nothing to feed that part of who they are. Research published in Applied Animal Cognition found that dogs who work to access their food through puzzle feeders, sniff mats, or simply kibble scattered across the yard showed significantly higher levels of positive emotional indicators than dogs fed from a standard bowl. They were not just more tired, they were more deeply satisfied in a way that lasted well beyond the meal itself. But here is the part that changes everything. When you are the one who sets up that challenge, when you hide the food, scatter the kibble, create the puzzle, you become inseparable from that feeling of accomplishment. You stop being the person who fills the bowl and become the highlight of their day. 5. Presence. Sit on the floor and say everything without words. I want you to try something today. Not after a walk, not during playtime, not when your dog is already bouncing for your attention. Just a random, quiet moment in the middle of an ordinary day. Put your phone down, get up from wherever you are sitting, and lower yourself to the floor. Do not call your dog over. Do not hold out a treat. Do not reach for them. Just sit there and wait. Consider for a moment what your dog experiences physically every single day of their life. Every person they love is enormous. Every hand comes from above. Every voice comes from above. And in the animal world, presence from above carries one meaning: dominance, pressure, control. Your dog accepts all of that because their trust in you runs deeper than instinct. But they have never once experienced you as simply an equal presence in the room, at their level, with nothing being asked and nothing being demanded. When you sit on the floor and go still, something in the room shifts. Your dog will notice. They will look at you differently. And then, if you stay calm and stay patient, they will begin to move toward you, slowly, deliberately, on their own terms, not for food, not because you called, but because they want to be near you. That choice, that voluntary movement in your direction, is one of the most honest and profound things a dog can ever offer another living being. The bond is built here. 5 things. The right touch in the right places. A walk that nourishes their mind instead of just their body. A voice that carries both the word and the feeling at the same time. A meal that makes you the source of their deepest daily satisfaction. And the simple, radical act of coming down to their level and asking for nothing in return. None of these cost a single dollar. None of them demand more than a few minutes of your day. But woven together, they create something that most owners spend years searching for without ever knowing what it actually requires. It is not a trick. It is not a technique. It is trust. And your dog has been ready to give it to you from the very first moment they walk through your door. The only question that has ever mattered is whether you were ready to meet them there. If this opened your eyes, share with someone whose dog deserves this too. Subscribe to Soulful Paws, because this is exactly the kind of thing we bring you every single week. And leave a comment below telling me which of these 5 you are trying first. I read every single one, and I cannot wait to hear about the moment your dog looks at you differently.